I just did a weirdo video that I knew wasn't going to be part of this crystal or this temple, but it was like my rhetoric going, Netzoth is closed. um, the most important thing that we need to focus on is producing clean magic. Clean thought, clean magic, clean DNA. Okay. High form. Jedi. So we work for that. We strive for it, even if we're just like a baby seraphim. So we think high form in life. We would rather have high form than any force. Doing the right thing the right way than any power behind it. So the power, like when we lust, we get sloppy and it becomes bad form. And then we become cheaters. And then it creates a mess and a disaster in life. So GEBURAH is about, so one of the symbols is the brick wall, is form, perfect form. So one of the reasons why Misty's documentary is on the GEBURAH movie list is her perfect form. Even her rehabilitation process, perfect form, even at a micro muscle level. And that's what's required for an actual real seraphim. Because you're supposed to be a master of the red ray, or you're mastering the red ray, and it's perfect word. Wingardium Leviosa, not Leviosa. Okay, so Hermione Granger was a perfection of form. All right, even like Snape with the potions, that's perfection of form. Okay, even if he was a Slytherin. You get very, very little in life when you want a lot and don't do the good form. You get very dry results. It's very unfertile. And when you produce a better form that produces fertility for even other instructors to come and correct and micro correct and micro correct and micro correct and micro correct until something becomes stabilized. And then starts to create something. Maybe creates a miracle, maybe creates movement forward. So your number one goal for getting through GEBURAH, that's to get to non-cruelty. High boundary. I am God's no fucking way. So high boundary, non-cruel, and then clean magic. So those would be the top 3 priorities. It's not to do anything else. Let me repeat that. It is not to move a stick. It is not to make money. It's not to do this. It's not to do that. It's good form, non-cruelty, clean magic. That. And in that space, when you let go and you swim and you churn and you swim, you will begin to establish a sense of dominance over the energy field around you. Okay. In our temple, so we have the tower built. That felt really good. That started feeling the first part of the brick felt low form, but when we got the second part of the brick, we got better. We're going to create our yoke around our tower. And in that, we're going to create our rosy cross tower, like the yoke, where we duplicate this tower and then replicate to the north, to the south, to the east, and to the west of us, or to the front, back, right, and left of us. So if you can, see if you can get yourself like to take what we did and then shrink it down like 30 to 60% and then put it on each side. And you'll see it's a brick, right? It looks like a brick pointy obelisk. But then it has the bottom point also, and double terminated. And I hear Star telling me, nobody likes you because you do Gryffindor magic instead of Slytherin. And I go, Netsock is closed. Netsock isn't illegal. It's not just illegal, it's against God's law. This was never agreed upon that this would be a Netzockian planet at all. Okay. I'm having struggles with the tower and the behind me. So I'm trying to get that there. Now what we're gonna do, there we go. What we're gonna do is get a collie pink lily. We're gonna put it at the top. And each of the petals are gonna reach out to the other towers. So it's a giant lily. And then it's gonna do, we're gonna put a collie lily at the bottom, or we're gonna let the roots come through the ceiling and then grow down to the bottom. And it kind of grows like a little bit of moss. And that moss and those roots to the bottom grow and they expand into the other towers, the bottoms of the other towers. So now we have like these collie DNA roots going through each tower with a kind of moss at the bottom. Somebody says, I don't get how we're not going to get confessed off this planet. Here's the deal. The confessors are not psychos. Don't attack people. Don't attack confessors. Don't attack griffins. Don't attack the dragons. Like, it doesn't matter what you can do or what you can't do. You try your hardest, you do your best, and you be good. You put your best foot forward, and you do your good work daily, and you clean yourself daily, and then you get your A&R marks, and you do your pages, and that should start clearing you out to prevent confession. Like, it's not a big deal. Okay. Like, Mother Earth would rather have beneficial ladybugs than like 8 billion confessed people. So she'd rather have like 1 million ladybugs that do their good work. And then 1 million blue ladybugs. That's Kelly's side. We're also not fans of confessing children. Like, we're trying to save all the children. So, oh. So we have the good stuff at the bottom of the tower. And then that begins to create a membrane. It's like a milky white membrane around the entire set of the tower. on the up and on the down side. So what we're gonna do, because of the personal dragon egg, it would vary between a soul star or an 8-pointed octahedron versus a 4-pointed, or for the yolk. We're gonna put access points and not the full tower set on the northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest corners. So we're going to be putting like posts. So they're central neural system posts. They're metal, and then they have the collie pink ray with the electrocution, the electrical conduit. So we have them in the front, the 2 in the front, and then we have the 2 in the back. Now my 2 in the back are glowing blue, and the 2 in the front are glowing like collie pink. And then I'm getting the ones in the back to glow collie pink. It reminds me a little bit of the LAX airport, if you've ever been there. Okay. Now we're gonna put a proteototalum mesh around everything in this like yolk space. We're gonna get the octahedrons going in a couple minutes, but we're gonna do the proteototalum mesh first. We're gonna try to do it at like 3-inch cubes with the pearls, but then we're gonna tighten it to 1-inch cubes, a higher def res. And then somebody's like, I'm really excited this extends into my yard. Like, yeah, that's the point. So we have the pearl beads at every intersection too. And then you realize like, oh, that creates so much light. That really begins to set an electromagnetic grid field that feels like an access point to the divine. And it's moving all the energy around in my body. Ugh. Crack it through the spine. Sorry, somebody said something really stupid. A lot of people say really stupid shit to me in the astral planes, and it's the same thing they'll say to me in the real world. So I'm going to coat all the wires with the pearl goo, with the spray. And all the way down until you feel like the entire membrane, maybe the membrane doubled up because of the new access points. So it might start feeling or looking like a lychee. So you'd rather be a lychee than a leech. Sorry. God. So you'll feel like your entire membrane is filled with Protego totalum. And the spray. Yeah, you can spray it with the purple and create a purple lychee. On all the wires. So what I was going to do is fill it with the Griffin blue paste. Now that Griffin blue is a seal. It's a few things. It's like, wake the fuck up to this, wake the fuck up to that. So it's wake up here, wake up there, wake up there. Yes, you can put Ethiopian blue opal in your tower for Gryffindor. We're going to do that in our crystal yoke. We should do it in our crystal yoke for the home grid on like one of the lower worlds. All right. So we have, for the crystal yoke, we'll have to at least go to Jedi and great. Or not great. Do you guys understand the pun of that? So that's great. Like, it's not. It's not great, and we know that. But we know that we need to pat ourselves on the back when we do something that felt like it was impossible, and you mastered something in life. That was great. Okay, so then we have the ether gel paste in that secondary membrane. And then we're going to Gryffindor lava honeycomb the outside. And then we're hearing that's the access point to the dragon magic. And you might start feeling the dragons from the bottom of the clippeth. And that's what's rad. With like kind of a closed crown chakra from the bottom of the clippeth, and you're like feeling the dragons. Yeah. Like that's real. Yay. So then we spray paint the griffin blue around the lava honeycomb. So like we dip it in. It's like a griffin blue paint chocolate. We dip it in. And then we do it again. We do the Gryffindor lava honeycomb again. And we're going to create the lasagna. Now Ravenclaws cheat and they do their hot pink shit. And it kind of feels a little knife rapery. So we had to alter the Ravenclaw lasagna to something else. So that will come up when we do Hesed. But we did download the Ravenclaw lasagna. Okay. So then we do another dip into the Griffin blue. And we do another Gryffindor lava honeycomb. So some of you guys think that the lava is going to confess you. That's actually, that is so far from the truth. It's not even funny. Like, it's the opposite. It's going to purify you so that you don't get confessed. So it will purify your brain and your body. And the confession frequencies are not the same, and they're not like lava-y. Somebody's saying they're kind of fat, but they're not lazy. So fat people don't get to be like, we don't confess people because they're fat. We confess people when they are lazy and they would rather knife rape than clean up their knife rape. And a lot of those people could be fat because they're lazy. And they have zero self-control and zero self-discipline. And that's why they got fat. Do you understand like how their patterns led to their obesity? But do you understand it's not the same. Fat is not evil. It might not be very healthy, and you might need to do some work on grounding and self-maintenance. Okay? But it's not, being fat's not a sin. Being lazy is a vice of Malkuth. And then zero lack of self-control and self-discipline is a vice of GEBURAH. And you want to feel like you're going to be healthy and in shape in life, because then you can move forward. then you feel like you can master your own body or your own energy, and that works better. And you just take one step at a time. Also, a lot of obesity is created about the constant self lies that are told in the brain to yourself as you're stuffing food down your throat and then refusing to work out. So that doesn't pass code very well now, does it? So if you're mindful and you're more honest. So my biggest lies in life are me being able to get more done than I said that I'm going to get done. And that's going to get corrected. So my biggest lies. Okay, we're going to do one more layer. We should do 5, actually. We're dipping that one in the Griffin blue paint. Some of you already did it while I was talking about laziness versus obesity. All right. Or overweightness or fluffiness. However you want to call it. Somebody asked me if I ever had a problem with weight. Yes and no. I had a lot of eating problems. I've gone from 100 pounds to like 135 pounds. That was probably like okay, so like that was obese to me because I'm a small girl. Or I was a small girl. Okay. When I did my liver cleansing, and when I did my intestinal cleansing, after a couple of years of that, all my eating disorders went away. So know that parasite cleanse through the intestines, lots of stuff. So then I don't focus on, okay, so it's more stable and balanced and organic with how I live my life. All right, that's a lot of work doing those liver cleanses. It's not easy and it's very hard on the body. I'm hard on the body with all the cellular mutation. That is correct. And we are also entering a drop zone for planetary rehabilitation during this ascension. So just the ascension is going to be hard on everybody's body. Know that. We did the next layer of the Gryffindor lava charm. And then we're gonna coat that again with Griffin blue paste. So a parent right now is very concerned that I'm going to confess her magical child if it doesn't ascend into Tiferet. And I go, this is like, that's my job. Slytherin is not allowed. That kid has to ascend into Tiferet and cook himself into a Hufflepuff. It's a very Slytherin agenda to get away with things. Instead of doing the proper mutations required for this paradigm. The Hufflepuffs, we don't touch Hufflepuffs unless they hurt people or do awful, like, you shouldn't be doing awful magic in Hufflepuff. You should be responsible and healthy, and it's the whole point of the Crystal Children generation, is that they would all be Hufflepuff ascendable easily. And with them, the Indigos can mutate and ascend into Tiferet as well. All right. We're going to put that Griffin paste and then one more honeycomb. Gryffindor lava honeycomb. And then Griffin blue paste. So the thing about the children is they have a higher access point to their own inner child. It's easier to ascendio them into Hufflepuff. And they don't have years of bad magic, bad personality, or like psychosis that is acquired through adulthood. So it takes 1 month. 1 month. Stacy did it. Stacy's an old lady. Okay. Stacy did it in 2 weeks. She cooked her snake brain out. And I watched her do it. Okay, we're feeling good. Now we're going to do the soul star double octahedron around our yolk. Okay. Now we're going to put the Protego Totalum grids, the mesh, on this double octahedron. It should have gone clockwise. I like to draw them separately, the base of them, and then they should be sealed with like a purple goo jelly. That feels good. And then that one, purple goo jelly with the metal braids. Then we have the Protego Totalum mesh. And then we have the Salvio Hexia, the regular. This keeps our geometries high form. This is saying I live from my soul. My soul, also my heart, but my soul. Instead of matrix standards or other people's agendas. And then somebody throws in my face, it's your agenda that I get my A&R marks instead of be a confessed person. That is correct. That is my agenda. And you have to be honest that is probably what your soul would prefer in life. And know this, I have to do 10 times more paperwork than any of you guys. And you will all see it. I will have a giant library down the road with just books of Cobra Acid green, chartreuse green covers on them, and just pages of redundant text. Hathor showed me that in actuality, that she has a giant galactic library of books that she actually gridded, Salvio Hexia, and some of this other stuff. She has a giant library of these things that she did, which is why she's God's favorite child. She is the master. All right. So somebody says, Hathor really ascended the planet too. Yes. So Hathor worked with me very diligently to bring in the healthy Tiferet grids with Mother Andromeda and the dragons and Gracie and God. Babaji was more of a poltergeist during that time period. but we did it. Um, okay. So now we have the double seraphim, soul star, octahedron with the protegototalum and the pearls and the protegototalum mesh. And then we're going to have the salviohexia with the cyan and black tar heroin goo. And then it starts to feel like a real yolk again. And all your neighbors, if you live in an apartment, start to like, hey, like you exist. Like, so it might start building like communal intelligence. Because you started to clear away any of the ick between you and like neighbors. Okay. Now we do this like love, 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 love. Salviohexia, and then we do the Fianto grape jelly. With the, we can do the saffron bubbles on the outsides or insides of the grape jelly. And then we're gonna do one more honeycomb. And it's gonna be a golden honeycomb. We're gonna make our yolk like an actual yolk. So I keep on clearing star through my throat chakra every day. So you're gonna hear it and it's like fumbling through my body. It's really annoying. Okay. So our yolk, golden honeycomb. Now we're gonna fill our yolk in with Repellomuggletum. And this is our sacred spell. It's white plus signs that just keep adding up into a marshmallow goo. I'm trying to get them Repello Muggletum goo to really get in the lower the lower part. I'm having a problem with that. Now I'm getting there. Okay. Now we're going to do Repello Squibtum. And they're going to look like Grindylows or red carmine spiders or the red jellyfish. It could be a combination of the three. The Grindylow should be actually the red jellyfish. The red octopus. That's a Grindylow. So there are two main blessings that are coming through to paint our YOLK with for Gryffindor. And we're going to get there in 1 minute. repel squib tone grid gets very good. This is a humbling space. Like, I can do very, very little good magic right now. But I can do a couple pages, and I can strengthen my field. Lucifer is like, I can pray for Khaleesi to not get knife raped. Stuff like that. All right. We're going to do 2 main activations on the yoke. These are our secret activations. We're going to be painting on a mermaid tail scales. With that phthalo green, that phthalo mermaid green, iridescent. So it's kind of like dragon scales, but it's myrrh on the outside of the yoke. And then we're going to also pretend we're putting in a drop of myrrh oil in each scale. And somebody said, you're holier than thou. You might actually start to smell the myrrh. And I can right now. And then you know you're getting into olfactory, clair olfactory. That's very, very good root chakra. Even hints of it. I'm having a problem with that area and sending that part of the grid. Okay, that's better. I can smell it. So the myrrh is the holy, but it's also a sexual healing. Yeah, I choose to ascend my Netzach into Griffin instead of Slick Snake. Myrrh people are not they're of like value, like we don't do sex crimes, even on any wavelength. We don't support it even on a subconscious or unconscious wavelength. So they swim in the depths of the unconscious, myrrh, and they correct things. So that's part of what we're doing in Gryffindor, and that's what a griffin is. So there's a difference between a myrrh that's Netzakian, that's like, or versus a planetary savior. That's a hero. All right. Then we are doing The leopard, nope. The jaguar, panther. And then it's painted. So you see the spots. It's the jaguar blessing. Because now we're no longer in the Mayan snake god. Now we're the jaguar god. Now we're independent of any societal constraint. And now we're like kings of the underworld. And that was what the jaguar was representation. Like that was the representation of the jaguar. And they were the masters. The snake god was popular, but that was not popular. That means there are 8 billion Slytherins and 5 jaguars. Monsanto's popular. Okay. So jaguar. Jesus wasn't popular. Okay. Jesus is getting a proper Gryffindor symbiote right now. He's kind of weak. Babaji's better. Babaji's much better. Jesus was better in Hufflepuff. Jesus will probably go to Ravenclaw in the spirit world. Babaji's more of a seraphim. That's our YOK. Collie Wren out.